Okay, let's just dive straight into this explainer. Right now, there is a massive inventory crisis literally suffocating car dealerships across the entire country. The market is flashing these huge warning signs that honestly are just impossible to ignore at this point. Dealers everywhere are sitting on lots full of brand new SUVs that they just cannot sell. I mean, some of these things have been gathering dust for over a full year. And as you can imagine, with inventory costs piling up and absolutely zero relief in sight, well, dealers are starting to seriously sweat.
So, to really understand why this is happening, we've got to look at the math. According to Kelley Blue Book, the average price of a new car just hit a staggering $50,000. For the very first time, 50 grand. That number is a massive psychological and, let's face it, financial barrier. It's basically created an absolute breaking point for regular consumers who are already dealing with, sky-high interest rates and just a really tight economy overall. So, what actually happens when buyers finally look at those crazy price tags and just say, nope, no way? Well, the result is exactly what we're seeing, a total backlog of unsold vehicles. Today, we're going to break down the 15 slowest selling SUVs in America based on the highest days of market supply. We'll look at exactly why buyers are completely rejecting them, and it's all going to culminate in one specific vehicle that's been rotting on dealer lots for an unbelievable 372 days. All right, moving into our first section here, mainstream brand misfires. This is really about what happens when okay just isn't good enough anymore. Look, in today's hyper-competitive market, buyers are flat out rejecting vehicles that get stuck in this awkward middle ground of high prices and questionable quality. Volume players are literally sitting on tens of thousands of unsold units. Take the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, for example. They have over 29,300 unsold units. Stellantis has just been plagued by these quality issues and electrical gremlins, and it's making buyers seriously second-guess that $48,000 average price tag. Then you've got the VW Taos, with almost 18,000 units piling up. It was supposed to be this great affordable subcompact, but it's cramped and Consumer Reports predicts below-average reliability. And the Buick Enclave? Nearly 13,000 unsold. Honestly, Buick is caught in this kind of hilarious brand identity crisis right now. They're trying to shed that whole retirement community image and pivot to EVs, which just leaves the Enclave feeling neither premium enough to justify its price, nor affordable enough to actually compete with the likes of Toyota or Honda. And this perfectly illustrates the massive perception problems struggling brands like Nissan and Mitsubishi are facing. I mean, think about it. When buyers are asked to drop over $71,000 for a Nissan Armada, they expect established, undeniable luxury. But years of leadership chaos and quality concerns, that totally erodes trust. Why on earth would you buy that over a Chevy Tahoe or a Toyota Sequoia, right? Then we've got Mitsubishi with the Outlander and the Eclipse Cross. Even though they're priced much more affordably, like under $30,000, buyers are still walking right past them. Their reputation for reliability is shaky at best, the tech feels totally dated, and man, they suffer from incredibly weak resale values. Okay, let's shift gears to Section 2, the Land Rover problem. We're looking at a very real pattern of unsold luxury here. When a brand's entire lineup starts backing up on dealer lots, you know for sure there is a deep systemic issue at play. You are seeing that right. 3 completely different Land Rover models are basically clogging up lots for around 200 days. This spans all the way from the $53,000 Discovery Sport, which is supposed to be the entry point to the brand, all the way up to the $74,000 full-size Discovery family hauler. And sitting right there in the middle is the stylish Range Rover Evoque at 187 days supply. Now, what's really fascinating here is the massive disconnect. Ask yourself, what do buyers actually expect when they drop 50 to 74 grand on an SUV? They expect bulletproof reliability, low ownership costs, and just, total peace of mind. But what are these Land Rover models actually delivering? Endless electrical gremlins, incredibly expensive maintenance, and bottom-tier Consumer Reports rankings. Families are smart. They know they can go out and buy a famously reliable Lexus GX for the exact same money. So they are actively avoiding Land Rover. They might love how the cars look, absolutely, but they completely fear the mechanics bill. Which brings us to Section 3, Luxury Financial Quicksand. These are your 6-figure depreciation traps. So, stepping up to the ultra-luxury bracket, the stakes get astronomically high. Whether we're talking about the $142,000 all-electric Cadillac Escalade IQ or the $152,000 Audi RSQ8, these vehicles land in a seriously awkward tier. The Audi RSQ8, it's an absolute beast with 591 horsepower, but at over 150 grand,
luxury buyers would almost always rather just buy a Bentley or a Porsche. The Escalade IQ was supposed to be this huge, bold reimagining of American luxury, but buyers are severely hesitating on a six-figure battery-powered SUV. Further down the list, the regular Audi Q8 is actually losing out to Audi's own Q7, which gives you more space for less money. And the Lincoln Aviator, despite having a gorgeous plush interior, it has a staggering 219 days of supply. Why? Because buyers still kind of view it as a quote-unquote fancy Ford, and its plug-in hybrid system has just faced a myriad of issues.
But honestly, the most terrifying factor for these high-end SUVs is the brutal depreciation. High performance and luxury vehicles routinely, and I mean routinely, lose 50 to 75% of their value in just 5 years. Imagine buying an SUV and watching half the cost of a house just disappear into thin air. It really makes these high price tags look like a complete financial disaster just waiting to happen. And that right there explains exactly why the Maserati Grecale is sitting unsold for 259 days across America right now. It's priced as a serious luxury player, averaging around $82,000. But buyers are smart. They know an $82,000 investment in a Maserati is going to evaporate incredibly fast compared to buying something like a BMW X3 M40i, a Mercedes AMG, or a Porsche Macan. Those competitors give you better tech, stronger performance, and a vastly superior dealer network, all without that terrifying cliff dive drop in resale value. All right, we made it to Section 4, America's slow-selling nightmare. This is the #1 dealership disaster. This brings us to the climax of our explainer. We've looked at mainstream misfires, we've trudged through the luxury quicksand, but now we arrive at the absolute slowest-selling vehicle in the entire country right now. And it all comes down to one absolutely astonishing number, 372. That is 372 days of supply. That means this specific SUV has been gathering dust on dealer lots for over a full year. That's not just a minor inconvenience, that is total, absolute crisis mode for these dealerships. So what is it? It's the 2025 Jaguar F-Pace. At an average price of nearly $72,000, there are 2,511 of these units just sitting there, completely unwanted. This is a vehicle that, historically, used to be praised for its stunning styling and really sharp handling, but today it is a complete dealership nightmare. So why exactly is the F-Pace failing so spectacularly? Well, it's pretty much a perfect storm. First off, abysmal reliability. Jaguar just consistently ranks near the absolute bottom of reliability surveys with endless electrical and infotainment failures. Second, the brand has basically announced a hard pivot to an all-electric lineup, meaning they are discontinuing most of their current gas cars, so buyers are rightfully terrified. They're wondering, is there even going to be dealer support or parts available for this thing in a few years? And because of all that massive uncertainty, the depreciation is just crushing. A $71,000 F-Pace could easily plummet to just 20 or 25 grand in 5 years. Why on earth would you take that massive loss when you can just go buy a Porsche Macan for the excitement, a Lexus RX for bulletproof reliability, or a Genesis GV70 for overall value? So here's the situation we're ultimately left with. As these vehicles just sit there for hundreds of days, dealerships are going to get incredibly desperate. Massive, eye-watering discounts are definitely coming, but it leaves you with a really critical question. Is saving a few $1,000s on the lot today really worth stepping into a heavily depreciating asset that has severe reliability red flags tomorrow? Or are these SUVs sitting unwanted on dealer lots for a very, very good reason? Definitely something to think about the next time you see a too good to be true price tag on a brand new car. Thanks so much for watching this explainer, and we will see you next time.